So about the fourth watch in the night, which is about 3 a.m. to 6 a.m., Jesus came toward them walking on the water. What we want to do is pay attention to what these various parts symbolize. The wind was blowing the boat. There was this confusion, this turmoil. As it states, the disciples experienced fear. They were terrified as they saw what they thought was a ghost. And so how do we experience, what kind of things go on for us when we have those kinds of feelings? But that we're troubled. We don't know what decision to make. We're confused. We're lost. Any number of situations that cause us to feel this way, as if we were in a boat being tossed about. We don't know what's going to happen next. Everything is just so uncertain and unsettled, and we just wish we could get our bearings and get focused on something, but life just seems to be such a mess. And I'm not trying to say that these people were not actually out in a boat. The point for us in reading these kinds of passages is, well, what can they symbolize in our lives? Because some of us might never be in a boat, and so to think that we have to be in a boat to experience what these characters were experiencing would be rather short-sighted. And so we allow the scriptures again to talk to our imagination. And how is it then that you and I deal with all this turmoil? It just simply, how is it that we can, in acknowledging all of that turmoil, find some way of experiencing the calm, the serenity that Jesus has to offer? So the disciples may also have been talking about what they experienced. They may have been talking about, wow, Jesus was in such pain when he heard about the death of John the Baptist. And it was clear that he wanted to go off by himself. We know that he's done that any number of times, and times when we've searched for him and said, Jesus, there are people waiting for you. What are you doing here by yourself? And one case where it was so interesting, people are waiting where the people you left, there's still more people waiting there. And Jesus said, yeah, let's go to another town. Interesting. So the disciples maybe were talking about all that, and they said, my gosh, how do we deal with painful experiences? Oh, well, I'm just an old crusty fisherman. Who wants to bother with taking time to worry about that stuff? You just buckle a button up and just go on. Or others saying, my gosh, do you always have to be so hard on yourself? Do you always have to make yourself look like such a macho individual? So who knows? They could have been arguing or discussing about any number of things. Or they might have been, whoever said, you want us to serve these people, Jesus? And so the one who said, we don't have anything here. We've just got 5 loaves and 2 fish. What's that? And somebody else was saying, you don't say that kind of thing to Jesus. How insensitive. Haven't you realized now that he is capable of taking what for us looks like little or maybe even nothing? How could you be so blindsided? So we have no idea what went on in that boat. And so the wind may just simply be a symbol for their own confusion. Or they may have been talking about, when are we going to be capable of feeling people's pain the way Jesus did? I mean, we all agreed, dismiss them. The one who spoke it, hey, we might get on your case, but any of the rest of us would have said the same thing. Because we're still not capable of allowing the Spirit to help us, guide us as to how to take care of people. And they talked about, to see Jesus with those 5 loaves and 2 fish, he took them, he blessed them, meaning he offered thanks to God for them, and the awesome miracle that took place as there was more than enough to eat. I hope we've got a lot more time with Jesus so that we can learn how to take care of people the way he did. And so they may have gotten to that point of being very, very tender about who Jesus was for them. And what they thought was a ghost, they might have had that experience of, we're talking about Jesus. Is he really present to us? Because it certainly feels that way. And of course, sometimes when we wonder, is Jesus present to us as we're reflecting on our experience of him? And the answer, of course, is yes. And they thought, this is a sacred moment. What do we do with it? And, here the gospel writer says, they said it was a ghost. All right. Do we recognize Jesus as really present? Not a ghost. Really, really present to us as we, again, share with each other our experiences of God's goodness, God's blessing, our experiences of how Jesus is truly present to us as we reflect on and share how it is that we have acted as much as possible the way Jesus acted when he walked this earth.